Knuckle's shop. Mr. Knuckle owned the best of shops. It was filled from floor to ceiling with watches and clocks. From morning to night he'd toil away, fixing the things that people bought him each day. But Mr. Knuckle, he had a secret. The words of it, he'd never speak it. For after the work of the day had been done, something wondrous occurred when the humans had gone. Out of the woodwork crept 3 little elves. They lived in the wall that was covered in shelves. At the stroke of midnight that chimed from the clock, they would wake from their slumber and work in the shop. All of the fixed watches that Knuckle had mended, the pockets, the wrists, the things he had tended, lay on a cloth on the hard wooden table for the 3 elves to work on once night made them able. So what did they do when the clock struck its time? The elves, they would dance and the table they'd climb. The truth of it, you may not believe it. The sight of it, oh, you just have to see it. Happy and sprightly, they'd all stand and mutter. The lamp would blow out and the curtain would flutter, and magic would start to unfurl in the place, as strong as black tea, but as thin as white lace. The spell from the elves would weave round the room, light up the corners, brighten the gloom, resting upon the things on the cloth, oh so delicate and subtle as the wings of a moth. The magic, it entered the timepieces there, leaving a promise, a blessing, a prayer. The reason for it, my friend, to you I'll now tell, the need for the elves, the effects of the spell. When the shop it was opened by Knuckle next day, the owners of the pieces would stop by and pay, and once the watches were in their possession, the magic would make one final transition. It would creep from the place where it had patiently waited, and enter the lives of the humans so fated. A change it would make, a shift oh so fine. The humans would start to make the most of their time. The lady who did nothing but sit all day long began to dance at the hint of a song. The man who drank those hours at the inn would run to the lake every day for a swim. The priest who at church would sit and pass judgment began to help the needy with love and enjoyment. The heartbroken woman who'd lost all sense of self began to take walks and care for her health. The musician who sat all day in a trance in the street played his fiddle with a jig and a prance. Young and old, fat and thin, man and woman, girl and boy, the elves and their magic turned misery to joy. So you see, from Knuckle's service and the help of the elves, the humans had to take a long look at themselves. From then on in, though the truth's very strange, they all kept the time while they were making the change.